Alright, can we stop blaming Echo RNG for a second? Because I keep seeing people saying things like, my build's finished, why is my damage so low? And honestly, I think there's a pretty good chance that it has nothing to do with your echoes. You're probably making one or two mistakes that are quietly killing your damage, and the worst part is, the game doesn't tell you. And I used to make some of these mistakes too, and I thought that my account was just weak till I fixed a few small things. Suddenly, my damage jumped way more than I expected. So before you spend another wave blade farming for that one echo with one more crit roll, check if you are doing any of these. First off, wrong rotation, and this is honestly the biggest one. You could have insane echoes, a cracked weapon, and maxed out talents, but if your rotation is messy, your damage is still going to suffer. For example, let's say you're using Chisum. Her ult gives you a really good 15-second buff, but that buff doesn't last forever. And if you swap over and spend a few seconds running around, dodging, or pressing random skills because you're not sure what comes next, you've already wasted part of that buff, and Wuthering Waves is honestly pretty unforgiving when it comes to rotations. Your intro buffs, outros, and liberations are all meant to flow into each other, and once that flow breaks, your cooldowns start feeling awkward, buff expire early, and your DPS end up doing way less damage than they should. That's why you'll sometimes see someone with average echoes doing more damage than someone with double crit on every piece. Their build isn't necessarily better, they're just doing their rotation a little better. So if you never actually looked up a combo guide for your main, I'd seriously recommend it. Next on the list is your weapon. This one catches so many people. I know it's tempting to see a 5-star weapon and immediately think, yep, that's the best one, but that's not always how it works. A weapon can have amazing stat and still be a bad choice for your character. The passive is just as important as the crit or attack it gives you. If your character gets most of the damage from resonant skill, but your weapon is mainly buffing energy recharge, for example, you're not actually using the weapon properly, and you're basically carrying around a passive that's doing almost nothing. That's why you'll sometimes see a fully refined 4-star weapon outperform a random 5-star. So before you spend all your materials leveling a weapon, make sure the passives works with your characters and it'll work wonders. You'd be surprised how many people skip this part. Third on the list is your echo set. I think almost everyone's done this before. You finally get that echo, double crit, attack percentage, maybe even energy regen. And you look at it and you're like, yep, that's the one. And then about 5 minutes later, you realize it's the wrong set. I've done this so many times and it's actually embarrassing. And the thing is, having insane substats doesn't automatically make it a good echo. Your set bonus is just as important. For example, Yuki needs this set, but if you are running her with this set, then the damage doesn't really make sense and the echo set doesn't really match up either. Their sets are built around that playstyles, and a lot of people tunnel vision on crit value. But honestly, I'd rather have the correct set with decent substats than an amazing echo that's on the wrong set, because at least your character is actually doing what they're supposed to do. So before logging in that shiny new echo, ask yourself, does this echo set actually work with my character? And sometimes the answer is no. Fourth on the list is that you're ignoring talent levels. This one's probably the funniest to me because people will spend 3 weeks farming passive fields hoping for one better echo while their forte is still level 6. I'm not even joking, I've seen these accounts with insane builds and then I open their talents and level 6, level 7, level 5. Like, why? Talents level are literally guaranteed damage. There's no RNG and you don't have to pray for double crit. You farm the materials, upgrade the talent, and your damage goes up. Simple as that. Now, obviously, don't just level everything because that's expensive. Some characters get most of their damage from their skills. Some rely more on the liberation skill. So just figure out where your character actually gets most of the damage, and from there, prioritize that. You'd be surprised how much stronger your character feels just from a few talent levels. You can also turn this thing on, which it'll tell you which talent is the best to prioritize for damage. And last on the list is your team doesn't make sense. This one is probably the hardest to notice. I mean, it was for me because on paper, your team might actually look pretty good. You've got 3 limited characters, everybody's built, everybody got their decent echoes. So what could possibly go wrong? Well, do they actually work together? That's the real question. I see people throw 3 DPS characters onto the same team all the time. And yeah, individually they're strong, but you need your buffers and you need your supports. Like, who's generating energy? Who's setting lining up on outro buffs, or who's keeping your rotation smooth. A good team isn't just 3 good characters, it's 3 characters that make each other better. Honestly, I'd rather have 1 amazing DPS with 2 supports than 3 DPS with no supports. So once you build your team around synergy instead of just rarity, you'll notice your damage goes up without changing your echoes at all. So before you spend another week farming echoes, take a step back and check these 5 things first: rotation, weapon, echo sets, talent levels, and team comps. Because sometimes the biggest damage increase isn't another double crit echo, it's just fixing the mistakes you didn't even realize you were making. I mean, I know I was guilty of a few of these, and especially the echo set one, just slap double crit piece into my characters and call it a day, and that did not work. So if you've got another mistake that people make all the time, leave it in the comments because I love to read them. If this helped you out, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.